What is up, guys? Steve here with HVACRHero. This is the first video I'm doing. I've been doing just podcasts, but I thought it'd be cool to jump on here, do a video, share my screen a little bit, show you guys what we got going on over here in the studio, aka my home office. But anyways, yeah, so thanks again for checking out the channel. Thanks for listening. If you are, or if you do, I appreciate it. I love doing these. I love doing the podcast, and I'm going to enjoy doing these videos. But really, just here to talk about HVAC, as always. So we're going to kind of dive right into this, and we're going to look at some stuff. So today I thought a fun episode would be talk about some of the new trends in HVAC. So I just did a quick Google search, and I found something here, 10 new products. Let's see how new they are. Let's do this together. So we're going to share the screen here. And those who are just listening, thanks for listening. I'll try to do my best to describe what we're looking at. All right. And we're going to do top 10 newest products in HVAC. So got a couple here. The first one, we're talking HVAC zoning systems. I don't know how new this is, but they say this is going to be the newer ones in 2023. I mean, if any of you guys have been in HVAC for any period of time in the last decade, you will know already that zoning has become, and probably has been for quite a while now, but it is definitely a popular product, I should say. I mean, nowadays with smart thermostats and different sensors that you can throw on into these systems, being wireless or whatever, it just makes so much sense to add some zoning into these. So we have what they say here is basically it refers to heating and cooling systems where the ductwork is dampened and regulated, and redirecting air to specific areas in the house. So what they mean by that is, just for a good example, the house that I'm in, it's a 1926 home. So we got a really old house. You got the downstairs is nice and cold. The upstairs is always really hot. So the thermostat shuts off when the downstairs hits a certain temperature. Well, how can we combat that? Well, we could, for one, zone it, right? We could put a sensor upstairs, and you could have your sensor downstairs, and you could put a couple zone dampers in there. So when the sensor downstairs is satisfied, so your thermostat says, hey, it's 70 degrees in here, let's close this zone damper, but we're still going to allow air to be pumped upstairs until that sensor or thermostat is also satisfied. And then once that zone damper will close too. And ideally, your HVAC system is backing down based on how much need or load it has. It's a huge thing right now with heat pumps, and they have inverter compressors. Well, if you're not familiar with what an inverter compressor is, basically that compressor is going to be ramping up and down as it needs to throughout the day, depending on load. So a lot of times they don't even shut off. It's more efficient for them to continue to run all day long than for us to shut down, because as we all know, the majority of your amperage is being used on that initial startup. So that's what they say here is, exactly what I just said. They say a house is divided into two different areas. Each part is individually controlled by a separate stat. So that's exactly what I just described. And again, I talked about heat pumps. So they say here the zone system can be applied to the VRF, air conditioning, or ductless systems. Also, zone systems can be installed in existing systems by use of zone control panel. I mean, they also missed out boilers. We zone boilers all the time. We have forever using zone valves and everything. So it's not just that, but we get the thought process here, and it's kind of what I just went through. But they say here almost every household that has adopted HVAC zoning system benefits because it's an increased probability for the house to have a room too hot or too cold. So it's exactly what I said. So, but they're right. I mean, I think that is going to continue its trend or its trajectory to becoming popular and even more popular as we grow in our technology. So that's pretty cool. I've got a Nest I just put in my house actually, and I will admit, some of these smart thermostats, I'm not super impressed with it. I mean, any loss in it's probably more of my internet, but anytime you lose any power, you got to reset that thermostat. You got to integrate it back with your internet, your Wi-Fi. But it seems like it just drops off a lot more than just when you lose power. It seems like it's quite often I'm going and checking that and having to add it back onto the internet. So Not super impressed with it, but maybe I'm doing something wrong too. I like my old thermostat where my air conditioner would just, it would do what it had to do, and I wouldn't. I mean, it is convenient. You'll be sitting upstairs and you're hot. You can jump on your phone and turn that air conditioner down. But it's even less convenient when you want to be able to do that and you can't. Then it just pisses you off. But that's all right. That's all right. So let's move on to the next one. So we had HVAC zoning system. Now we're going to look here, energy analysis software. This is interesting. So they're saying that energy analysis software, basically in the past, we would have to manually check energy bills and energy consumption. Well, now what they're saying is that this energy analysis software, it helps contractors save time and effort in researching the energy history. So basically what they're saying is that this analytical software is going to calculate the lifetime energy usage and data related to that HVAC system. And I could see, yeah, I mean, if you have a smart thermostat, they'll tell you the same thing. They're just saying that basically we have a better opportunity now to be able to see the amount of usage you use. Does this customer like their thermostat a lot colder than most? Does this person only like their air conditioning to kick on at 75 degrees? I don't know. Personally, I'm a 68 kind of guy. I leave it at 68 all year, all year round. I lied. Not all year round. I think in the wintertime, I'm definitely cranking that bad boy up to like 72. I like to be warm in the winter. See, I believe in, look, you got HVAC, use it. I mean, yeah, our energy bills are $350 a month, but hey, that's okay. You got HVAC, use it. You're gonna be like, holy hell, $350 a month. Yeah, so again, old house, very leaky, air conditioners running all day long. Makes sense. All right, so what else do we have? Number 3 here looks like we have thermally driven air conditioners. So let's read this real quick. It's calculated that large portable air conditioning units consume about 4,100 watts per hour, while mid-size air conditioners can use 2,900 watts per hour. In an attempt to create an eco-friendly future, the advanced HVAC system has incorporated thermally driven air conditioners that supply electricity via solar power and thus have become sustainable systems. This method provides an energy efficiency cooling method that can be an alternative to the traditional air conditioners. And the biggest advantage is to offer eliminating electricity costs. So it's saying that this has existed for many years. Ongoing research has helped that. Yeah, I guess I don't really get the name thermally driven air conditioning. I feel like there's probably a better name for that system. But I am 100% all for this. I mean, as we continue to work towards electrification, everybody's talking about how the grid is going to support this, how the grid is going to support this. Well, this is a great opportunity for us to look towards alternate ways to run these systems, and I think that's awesome. If you can run it off solar, let's do it. Why not? There's no reason not to. It's free. It's a one-time investment. Now you have no more energy costs. The oil and gas guys aren't going to like us, but it is what it is. So that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I think that definitely will be working its way into 2023 for sure. I think it's important for us to look at other options out there, and why not? Dual fuel heat pumps, definitely have seen a lot of this. This is interesting. So personally, I was a commercial HVAC estimator for a local supply house, and I was doing a lot of VRF systems, right? A lot of VRF, multi-phase, single-phase VRF, and it was a lot of residential, smaller VRF systems, so single-phase systems. So that would be up to like 5 ton was that, and a lot of times we would have these and we'd say, hey, this is going to work great, but we would also recommend throwing in an electric heater, right? Having that backup heat, especially in the Northeast, I think is very important. Just because I think you can't really, I wouldn't depend on that for my heating source. We all know that, once it gets under 30 degrees, we're starting to lose a lot of efficiency. Your systems that are rated at 48,000 BTUs, you're really only getting 28,000. So yeah, we would throw electric heaters in there, and we'd let that kick on when it needed to supplement that heat. Definitely thought that was something that was important. If we weren't doing that, we were putting electric baseboards in the bathrooms or in the house somewhere. But we did recommend it. It's such a small cost to add just for that extra. Hey, it's kind of a peace of mind thing, right? And that's kind of what we went for, and it shows that we cared, and they gave the customer like, yeah, that's a good idea. Do I hope that heat pumps eventually are going to get to the point where they can run by themselves? I think we're getting there. But it's really, as you guys know, it all comes down to that install. So if you're not adding the 18-inch stands for these things to sit on, if you're putting them in areas where there's a lot of wind and you're having issues with wind on the fan, or you got a lot of ice buildup, things like that, you got to be really careful in how you install these. Let alone, not just that, but I mean, let's talk about insulating the line sets, making sure there's no leaks, just things like that. We just got to be. I think that's one thing as an industry that we have to work towards is. Everyone's trying to go as fast as possible. Let's get these things installed. Let's make a bunch of money. But we got to take a step back and just make sure we're doing it the way that we need to do it. Otherwise, not only are you going to have a bad name, but we're going to also have a bad name for the product. When it is a pretty good product, we just need to make sure everyone knows what they're doing when they're installing them. All right, enough of that rant. But that's just my feelings on this. I got some funny color in this. My light here, I got a daylight white. Let's see what this does. Let's go to white. That's a little bit better, right? Whoa, soft white. Yeah, we can roll with that. So, it made my lips look funny. I'm wearing lipstick or something. I don't know what that was about. All you guys on the podcast right now are like, what is this guy talking about? Okay, so, yeah, so dual fuel. They also talk about, let's see, dual fuel heat pump. So they're saying using like a furnace with heat pumps. I think they're talking if you have like a wall system or a boiler and things like that. Smart HVAC technologies, we talked about that a little bit, just using the smart thermostats. You can connect to Wi-Fi and be able to look at that. That's definitely, I think that goes hand in hand with some of these other ones. But yes, I agree with that. Predictive maintenance. I love this one. You guys are going to call me a nerd for this, but listen, I mean, I've been talking about this a little bit, and I actually have a couple episodes. Preventative maintenance, wonderful. If you do it, awesome. Predictive maintenance is where you get into a whole different world of things. Let's just say, look, preventive maintenance is better than no maintenance, and predictive maintenance is the best kind of maintenance. So at the end of the day, what we're trying to do with that is we're trying to take trends, right? Vibration analysis, what else? I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen commercial motors. They actually have vibration, sensors on them. So what that's doing is it's picking up your trend. You'll see a vibration trend of this amount. Well, once that starts to go up and up and up and higher, they're going to start to say, wow, it looks like these bearings are going to have to get changed soon. Let's put this on the planning map and let's get it scheduled for 2 months from now to get these bearings replaced. That way, what we're doing now is we're preventing an actual shutdown or an unexpected shutdown. We're trying to prevent emergencies and keep the building going, as best as possible. 100% agree with predictive maintenance. We not only did that, when I was doing predictive maintenance, we'd use the strobe lights and things like that. Just you can get an idea of the fan and how the fan is running. You can get an idea of the belts, see if there's any issues with the belts. I believe in checking your tension. So you get in there with your tension thing. Make sure you're looking at your cracking and wear on the shivs and things like that. You're just getting an idea how this is going to look. But they make different tools. We had a tool called the HVACRHero Hawk system. Well, what that did is we had to go through in each motor and we put these little pucks here. Let me show you guys now that I got this this really neat software here. So it was called the HVACRHero Hawk tool. Let's see if it comes right up. Here it is, one prod. Hope you guys can see this. Let's make sure you guys are looking at what I'm looking at. We're going to go ahead and change. We're going to share another spot here. And again, guys, I'm sorry if you're just watching or listening on the podcast. Maybe you got to go over and check out the video on YouTube and or Instagram or whatever I put it on. I definitely think that it'll be important for you to do that. So you guys are going to say that this is really cool. And it is really cool. And I thought it was a pretty good machine. Let me tell you what, though. Get ready to fork out like a good a cool $18,000 for this tool. It's ridiculously expensive, but if you're doing it for a commercial client, you could probably work it into their contract and really not have to pay for it. But again, what this does is you put these little discs on there, and then this little tool right here it's a metal magnetic tool, and this actually attaches right to those discs via magnets, and that way it doesn't fall off. And you can put it right inside your air handler, close the door, ramp your air handler up to 100%, and you can see how that thing is running based on this analysis on the vibration. And you're never in there. You're not getting in the way of the belts, the motors. It's really a great, safe way to take a analysis of your system. And what it does is it'll build out. It's a cloud-based program, so it saves everything there to the cloud, and it'll build it out for months, so you can just continue to look, and it'll actually give you alerts when it says, hey, vibration is over the threshold that we recommend. Maybe you should look at installing new bearings and stuff like that, greasing it, maybe, all of that. But yeah, that brings me to my next topic is make sure you're in there greasing these motors up. Make sure you're greasing the dampers and the linkages and things like that. Changing the filters, obviously. That's just a lot of really good practices to do. All right, enough of that. Let's jump to our next guy here. So let's share my screen again on the other page. 1 second. Newest products in HVAC. Bear with me 1 minute. All right, so we got to predictive maintenance. I definitely think that's interesting. Virtual reality. Let's see what this is. And I haven't read this yet, guys, but I think what they're talking about is being able to do different types of training online via virtual reality. I've seen a couple of these things come through. There's some softwares out there that are trying to build these, but basically it's saving time, energy, gas. Instead of sending you out there to learn the basics, they're putting you on these virtual reality things, and they're allowing you to try to get in there and diagnose, maybe it's electrical, you're following the different lines through, through relays and switches and transformers, you're making sure all that, one, it's safer, two, you can mess around, without judgment and trying to learn the system. Personally, I think that there's no better way to learn than to be out there in the field with the guy learning from them. But hey, I get this too. So they're just saying here that virtual reality training cost effective because the professionals can use virtual reality and quickly develop their skills before moving into the real world work culture. So this practice saves not only money but also time. So exactly what I just said. There's a bunch of them out there. Not really sure which one's the best. Never used any of them, but yeah, so that's that. Number 8 is geothermal HVAC systems. There's a big company out in New York it's called Dandelion Energy, and they're a geothermal company that's been growing and growing. And I do think that this is going to continue to be a little bit of a trend. I don't see it being a super uphill trajectory, but I do think it'll gain some popularity. The problem here is it is expensive, right? And you're out there drilling and you're gonna spend $30,000 or more. This was a couple of years ago, it was $30,000. I mean, nowadays to replace a furnace AC, it's like 13 grand. So I can't imagine how much these are going for. I would like to believe that in that period, if you're spending that kind of money, you're probably getting a larger loan. By the time you pay your system off, you're probably gonna have to get a new system. So I don't know how much of a better place you'll be financially. But if it's a cool little thing, if you want to, do better for the earth and whatever, go for it. Definitely think it's interesting. They are getting new products out there. They're getting new heat pumps and things like that. So just be on the lookout. Ductless HVAC systems, we already talked about it. VRF, it's the same thing. I don't think we have to go into too much detail. 3D printed air conditioners. This is the first I've never heard of anything like this. But it says 3D printing technology has gained more attention for more than a decade simply because of its quick printing process for various products. 3D printing air conditioners are A perfect example of how technology can meet HVAC unusually. Porous blocks that absorb humidity and cools the air via evaporation. Since 3D printers products are durable and require less maintenance, this technology is expected to boom in the next year, despite this technology being first created in 2015. No idea what they're talking about. We can look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see what they're talking about. Hold on. 3D printed air conditioners. Let's see what we got going on. Do images. Yeah, it's coming through with just wall mount units. I don't know what the heck they're talking about, honestly. Is this it? From Hire. Okay, Hire's a big name. Wow. First one sells for $6,000. Yeah, that's a little pricey. Well, there you have it. They have them. So, yeah, maybe it is something that's going to continue to build. I'm not super convinced, but it's a cool looking product. I mean, you guys can see this here. It does look pretty cool. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, yeah, that was it. I mean, that's really what I just wanted to go through some stuff with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Comment, like it. Let me know what you think. If you have any other things that you think might be an upward trend, let me know. I want to hear them. I guess if you had to ask me what my number one product that I think is going to have the biggest impact on the industry would be, let me think. It's a tough one. I would like to think with the heat pumps and with the electrification and things like that, I think we're obviously going to move in that direction more. I would like to see more. I think number one is probably going to get into the energy sustainable. If we can run HVAC systems off of solar panels, I think that's going to be big. If you haven't seen it already, check this out. Tesla is actually coming out with HVAC products, or at least they were talking about it. And I think that's pretty neat. They're looking to make smart homes, basically smart homes. So they already have the solar panels. They already have these heat pumps in their cars. I don't think it's a bad idea, and I think they could probably do it pretty well. See, it's on the future. Elon Musk says here it's on the future product list, especially important places like Austin, which is next level amounts of pollen in the air. So, yeah, definitely think that's going to be the next kick. I would say if you can invest in Tesla, at least if anything. But yeah, look, it's going to definitely be a thing that they're going to go for. But that's my opinion. Maybe not. Who knows? But anyways, guys, again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the channel. I hope this was interesting to you. I hope you liked the video. I'll try to do more of these. And guys who are listening on podcasts, as always, appreciate you guys very much. All right, till next time. Remember, stay cool, right? Stay cool.